21 just because they won the Super Bowl, but that regular season wasn't fantastic. They caught fire at the right time.
Absolutely.
At the end of the year.
Yep. Had a hold off Tampa Bay and Brady, then beat San Francisco coming from behind in the championship game. Meanwhile, that punt is caught, and down the line goes Rashid Shaheed for the score. Out of nowhere. 58 yards. They picked him up. John Schneider got him in a trade with New Orleans midway through the season. He has been masterful.
And Shaheed picks up Sam Darnold after the interception. The Rams only took 1:21 off the clock. So you get a good job by the defense, a 3 and out. A good job, obviously, by Shaheed with a big turn of events with this return. And now it comes down, they got to get this 2-point conversion.
Huge 2-point conversion here. They bring Shaheed back into the game.
Make sure he stayed in bounds here.
Yeah.
Good.
Still good. All good. Tight roping. And we talked about Jay Harbaugh, the special teams coach. Boy, does he have a nice little piece to go with his group. Charbonnet is the back. Kupp sprints in motion. Darnold throws, and it will be in there for the 2 points. Kupp. They serenade him with Coop, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's a one-possession game.
Yeah, one-possession game after all this. You and I are talking about the Rams and what they have in front of them after that interception. And the Seahawks defense does the job to get him back in, to give Shaheed this opportunity. He's been doing it really his entire career, coming out of Boise State in his 4th year. What a job of setting it up, Weber State rather. What a job of setting that up, and then it's just him being so instinctive as a returner. And then it came down to it, you got to get the 2-point conversion, and they move Cooper Kupp from the right over to the left. That's very important because I think that allows him to be aligned with JSN and kind of uses him almost as just like bounces off of him, uses him as a screen, and timed up perfectly against McCullough, and a great throw by Sam Darnold to get the 2-point conversion.
And 8:03 remains, ton of time. That was the Rams' first punt of the night. Myers sends it down, fielded at the 4, dropped, picked back up. This is Whittington, gets smothered at the 22-yard line. So the crowd totally back into it now. Look again now at the remaining schedules. Told you about the importance of this one. Rams go to Atlanta next week, have the Cards at home. Hawks go to the Panthers next week. Still, they are very much in the hunt in the NFC South at the Niners, and the Niners at the Colts. Then the Bears at home and the Seahawks.
It's game on now.
It is. Don't forget Kobe Bryant is out. Ty Okada is in his spot from the 22-yard line. Rolling, throwing. Nakua gets taken down after a short game. Minwari making that stop. 2nd and 7, gain of 3.
McVay has changed up his personnel groupings all night long. He's back to that 13 look with the one back and the 3 tight ends. McDonald did a nice job of his defense, taking away those tight ends on those sail routes, forced him to go underneath.
Kyron Williams is the back. Play action, look out. Stafford avoids the sack. But the pressure costs him the opportunity to hit his receiver, Leonard Williams and DeMarcus Lawrence. The 2 veterans come in side by side.
Remember, we talked about if this team's going to get back into it, this defense and some of these alphas got to make plays. And there it is, 99, Leonard Williams able to work around. DeMarcus Lawrence able to finish on it. We've not seen them attack this offensive line in Stafford all night the way they are right now.
Decibel level is 111 according to the message board. 3rd down 7. Four-man rush. Stafford chased. Escapes. throws downfield into traffic, and that is incomplete. Intended from Mumpfield. So it's 4th down and 7, and that drive took all of 54 seconds.
Now watch this. You know where Stafford wants to go on 3rd down. Look at their bracketing him, but look at 21 Witherspoon. Good job of keeping eye, plastering, not giving him a chance to throw the ball where he wanted it to go. Forced him to go to the rookie Mumpfield, and that's incomplete. Terry McCauley giving us the sign to confirm it. See the ball on the surface. Defense again, a 3 and out, doing their job.
Rams back-to-back 3 and outs. So here's Evans' second punt. The first ended in a disaster. It's a short, wobbly kick that bounced out of bounds near midfield. So the Seahawks are going to have pretty good field position. With 7:02 to play in regulation here in Seattle, we're back at 30 seconds. We're back, 32-yard punt. When trailing by 15 or more in the 4th quarter, 0 and 172.
Whew. All right.
That's one hell of a schneid to get off of, isn't it?
Hell of a run.
Yep. Start this drive from the 43. Shaheed. Flag is thrown. So Shaheed with another good run, but. Where's it going to go? Flag thrown at the 47-yard line. Teams are starting to move back in that direction. What do we have?
Lined up in a neutral.
Oh!
55.
Yeah, 55.
That penalty is declined. The result of the play is 1st down, Seattle.
Both teams started to head back toward midfield.
Much like last week, where Shaheed made a difference late against Indy, you're seeing that same thing here tonight. The big punt return. Now they get him out in space on the reverse. I mean, he is dynamic. They brought him over November 4th when Tory Horton went down. He was a speedster. They needed some speed, and they went down to the Saints and brought him over. What a difference these last few weeks he's made.
31-yard pickup, 1st down from the 26-yard line. Play clock at 3. Rolling left. Throwing back the other way. He's got a man. Caught. Barner. Touchdown. 26 yards. And this place just exploding. Obviously going for 2.
I'll tell you what, man. Sam Darnold takes a lot of heat. You know, he's thrown 6 interceptions against the Rams. If you go back to week 11 and tonight, everybody probably in the stands booing him, wondering what's going on with 14. He can't win a big game. Well, Shaheed gave him a chance. What a call by Clint Kubiak. We'll show it to you in a second. Got the Rams out of position, makes a great throw, and they got a chance to tie it up. Last time they went to Cooper Kupp, brought him over in motion, used JSN as a decoy. Now they got JSN off to the right, lined up one-on-one against Forbes. Safety cheating over there.
Does it go that way? 3 receivers to the left. Quick throw here and into a lot of traffic and incomplete. Man, there was a whole traffic jam on the left side. Who was he going to at that point? Verse is there to help break it up. It remains a 2-point game.
Yeah, watch this route by Barner. Typically, when you run this route, you work to the inside. He sets it up and then goes to the outside. See the safety there? That was Cam Kitchens. Completely fooled with that route.
Now you got a scrum in the middle of the field. These two teams, obviously, not thrilled with each other.
What an effort by Barner at 6'6" to climb the ladder and come up with that catch. Unable to hit the 2-pointer, but with 6:23 to go, and the way their defense, 2 straight 3 and outs, it's going to be an interesting finish here.
Terry, what do you see on this play here?
Al, this may be a backward pass. We need to get a good angle on it, but if it's backward, then this recovery in the clear and continuing action in the end zone would be a good 2-point conversion for Seattle.
All right.
Here's your look, Terry, right here.
That would be.
It's from the point of release to the point it's touched by the defensive player.
Right. And then picked up by the Seahawks after they thought the play was over. That was Charbonnet just picking up the ball in the end zone. And apparently they're looking at this, but for the moment, they're lined up to kick off.
Another look.
They stopped there.
Ruling on the field is completed. Incomplete is under further review.
Well, Terry, you're on top of it. That's exactly what they're looking for. And wouldn't that be the craziest thing?
Continuous action here. Charbonnet did pick up the ball in the end zone.
So Brad Allen will get on the headset, check it out. I don't think anybody in the crowd has any idea what's going on right now. We probably wouldn't either without Terry.
That's true. That angle looks backwards there.
Terry, we're going to bring you in one more time. What are you seeing again?
That last shot we showed from overhead, It's clearly backward. Even if it was parallel, that would be considered backward. So if we look at that overhead shot again, he releases it, and it clearly goes backward to the point of first touching.
And that's where
and there's the recovery right there. That's in the clear and continuing action.
Can you imagine?
This is good. This is a good 2-point conversion. Yes.
Wow. Imagine this announcement. This place will go ballistic.
I mean, for what's at stake, is this the craziest 2-point conversion
ever
to
tie a game of this magnitude in the fourth quarter with 6:20 to go? So Brad Allen is the man of the moment right now and tells us.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback threw a backward pass, which was recovered in the end zone by the offense. It is a successful conversion.
That is the craziest ever.
Craziest ever. Great job by Terry and everybody involved there to be able to pick that up. Appreciate Terry, you seeing that, and everybody involved seeing that. And I'll tell you what, we were so focused on is it a lateral or is it not. Let's not forget the hustle by Zach Charbonnet to have the presence of mind just to go over to pick the ball up in the end zone.
Just pick it up, right?
Because if that ball rolls dead, it's a moot point.
That's all it took. Gets the recovery, knows what he just did. The whistle did not blow. That's the key there, too. The whistle never blew. Otherwise, the play would have been blown dead. 3-yard line, the kickoff here. Ronnie Rivers up to the 25-yard line. Seahawks on fire right now.
I mean, this is incredible. They had a 3% chance with NGS, and now they're up to almost 50% with 6:18 to go.
I'm surprised it was 3%.
I know.
It was like 0.2.
Well, here we go.
The way the game was going. Well, this place is always raucous. Full volume right now. Rams from the 26 to start this drive. On the ground, Corum. Next to nothing. Second down.
There's the probability I was talking about. After that interception, you go back and look at that 3% after the Kobe Turner interception. But remember I said earlier in the third quarter, I said he prides himself on whether it's good or bad, we put it behind us, we go forward. We keep working forward. And I said, we'll see if it's going to play out. And here we are at 30-30.
Second down, 8. Stafford hit as he throws, incomplete. Off the hands of Colby Parkinson, 3rd and 8. And Chenna Nwosu put the heat on that time. 3rd down, 8.
Yeah, Stafford's getting heated up here these last few series. 2 straight 3-and-outs. Best job they've done defending the run, and the best job they've done at getting after Stafford. Nwosu that time hits him right as he delivers that ball right in the ribs. Parkinson's been making those catches the last 3 or 4 games, that time off the fingertips.
Yeah, you saw Stafford wincing. 5.5 in the fourth to go. 3rd down, 8. Rush 4, tip, caught. Nakua, can he get the first? He cannot. 4th down. Ball tip.
Yep.
Rory put the heat on that time. 4th and 3.
Yeah, Nwosu had a heck of a series. And that's the 3rd straight 3-and-out for this Seattle defense. We can talk all we want about the return. We can talk all we want about the lateral and the two. This defense stepped up against the best offense, arguably, in the NFL. And they've been having a great night. And the defense put them in a position to get back in this thing.
And all that, and all this in by 4 minutes or less. Ethan Evans to punt. Fair catch called for. Made at the 23 by Shaheed. 4:47 to the finish line in regulation. 30-30 in a wild one. Telling you all night, Rams and Seahawks, what's at stake? Winner controlling the path to the #1 seed. What's fascinating, though, the #1 seed gets a bye. They're off. 2 games at home in all likelihood. If you are the #5 seed, and we'll get to that in a second, as Darnold throws, and Smith and Jigma looked open for a second. So if you're, in other words, you can still win like 13 games, be the #5 seed, right, and somehow wind up playing at Tampa or Carolina. Because if you win your division, you get a home game in the wild card round.
Yeah, and we saw that last year with Detroit and Minnesota late in the year playing. Both teams. I can't remember what a couple losses, and the loser ended up going on the road in the playoffs.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Yeah, play the Rams.
Meanwhile, Stafford went to the blue tent. 2nd and 10. Pass Walker, fighting his way for extra yardage. Wallace makes the tackle there. You saw Stafford wincing, got hit in the ribs when he released, and now he goes to the medical tent on that hit by Nwosu.
Yeah, he was hit a few times, and maybe just a couple hits adding up. This is the big one by Nwosu right here, right as he delivered it right into that right side there at his rib cage. But the Rams, you can see the reaction right there. Now the Rams defense has Darnold now at a big 3rd and 7.
That was Jimmy Garoppolo, who's the backup Rams quarterback. 3rd and 7, pass to the outside. Smith and Jigba is going to get wrestled down shy of the 1st down by Jalen McCullough. So that's a quick 3-and-out. Stafford is out of the 10. It's 4th and 4.
Yeah, this is a game that he knows what's at stake. He's having an MVP season. Sure, he's not feeling the best. And remember, they've gone 3 straight 3-and-outs. Game is on the line. It's time for the MVP to step up and his offense to respond.
So Dixon to punt. Sends Xavier Smith back to receive. Line drive, low kick, fair catch call for made at the 19-yard line. 3:19 left in regulation, 52-yard boot. Rams 323-1, leading by 15 or more in the 4th. Seahawks 0 for 172 when trailing by that in the 4th quarter.
That graphic both ways is crazy.
The Rams lost. That loss came to the 49ers all the way back in 1989. Drive starts from the 20. Stafford is 20 out of 31 for 311. Looks right, now left, and throws over the middle. Caught. Tackle made 4 yards shy of the 1st down. Davis Allen makes the grab. 2nd and 4. Tackled by Ernest Jones.
Remember, we talked a lot tonight about Seattle and how they have blitzed Stafford, and Stafford almost welcoming it, hitting some big shots and some one-on-one opportunities. Now we're seeing some adjustments by Mike McDonald, rushing 4. I think because they've cranked up some energy up front, it's allowing them to get pressure with 4, sitting back a little bit more, playing some zone.
Stafford knocked down. Might have been DeMarcus Lawrence. Got his hands up. 3rd and 4.
Just like it's a different energy, a completely different effort. And I think the crowd has helped. The defensive line is playing very, very differently with the physicality and the energy and how they're attacking Stafford.
Rush 4 again. Stafford. He's got a man open and a big first down. Terrence Ferguson got free. Huge play. Flag is down. Teams already moving to the Seahawks side of the field. Conference going on right now. You heard unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, I heard taunting.
Yeah.
Ferguson maybe after the catch, flipping the ball around and pointing. I don't know. Taunting can be a number of things.
Taunting can be smirking at somebody these days. So here's your play. Brad Allen.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 39, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Ty O'Connor.
Hit on a defenseless receiver here. Let's take a look at it. Remember, this is a third down throw, and they were so concerned about Puka Nacua. Watch the safety come down. Here's the route. He gets a mismatch against a linebacker. See the safety down, taking Puka Nacua away, and you get able to get away from Drake Thomas with Terrence Ferguson, the rookie out of Oregon.
So Nacua gets an assist. First down to the 31-yard line. Williams to the outside, slow on his feet, turns it into about a 7 or 8 yard gain, but a flag is down. He's jumping up and down and knows this one's probably coming back.
Yeah, probably a holding call on the edge there.
Holding, offense number 87, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Davis Allen. Makes it 1st and 20. So right now the ball at the 41-yard line. What would you be looking at?
Well, they got to get it to about the 34-yard line to have a chance.
You can't take a, well, you got a kicker who hasn't missed the season, but you're asking him to go 59. Need a lot of yardage, or at least some yardage, to make it makeable. 1st and 20. Pass is caught, tackle made, 36-yard line. That time they go to Parkinson. 2nd down, Drake Thomas makes the tackle. Clock stopped at 2:18. Seattle's taking a timeout.
Yeah, they're going to try to preserve that clock.
As they did last week. Look at, here's Nacua.
That's the rookie, Eamon Wari, going at it with Nacua.
Yeah. Oh boy. This is, you want to concentrate on what's at hand at this point.
Yeah, and it's kind of been brewing here in this second half on both sides.
So Seattle takes a timeout. They've got 2. The Rams had to use one earlier. They've got 2, and you have the 2-minute warning.
Think about where this Rams special teams unit. Remember early in the year, Philly blocked the kick late.
Yep.
The snaps weren't great. They made some changes with the snapper, made the changes with the kicker. Much more confident now at the end of the game with Long.
Had a lot of success. Williams, he's going to take it to the 29-yard line. So now you got 3rd down. Seattle's going to take another timeout, as they did.
Seattle, their second.
And I think
well, they did it very judiciously last week against Indianapolis, because he figured that Indianapolis had a chance to kick a field goal, which they did. Where Blake Grupe kicked one from 60, gave him enough time to get in position to kick their own 56-yarder.
And I think, Al, with the holding call that got him way behind the sticks, I think it's a smart move. You're kind of betting on the fact that you're going to stop them and force this field goal on this getting a stop right here and forcing the field goal right here. And now you got some time to work with.
You got a 47-yard field goal attempt. If they don't get another yard, Stafford on 3rd and 8. Stafford throwing. Nobody is there. Nobody is even close. So you got 2:11 now. Clock stopped. That time it was Okada who had the taunting call, who put the pressure on. 4th down and 8, and here comes the kicker who hasn't missed. Picked them up. Middle of the season, Harrison Mevis, who has tonight kicked 3 field goals, so he's 8 for 8. Practice squad guy, first-year player out of Missouri. So here we go from 48 yards away to give the Rams the lead, and he has been no good. Looked like it was heading to be good. Off, it drifted to the right, and with 2:07, the game remains tied.
Oh my gosh. Snap is clean, hold is perfect. I was with you. It looked like it was right down the middle. It just kind of kept falling to the right.
Drifting.
Wow.
So, not only that, now Seattle has the ball. They still have a timeout. You got the 2-minute warning. We're at the 38-yard line.
Well, all we've heard about is Sam Bradford can't win a big game. What an opportunity he has with 2:07. Or Sam Darnold can't win the big game. What an opportunity with 2:07 to go and a chance to get him into field goal range and have a shot to win it.
And do it in prime time on national television in a huge game. Very little there. 2-yard pickup. Charbonnet. So Seattle running the ball. They run the ball as much as almost any team in the league. Buffalo is slightly ahead of them in that regard. We reached the 2-minute warning. What a fourth quarter we have witnessed. This got Seattle back into the game. They were down by 16. There goes Shaheed. 2-point conversion was good. Darnold hitting tough there. Then Darnold hits Barner shortly thereafter. Then it looks like the 2-point conversion doesn't work, but it was a backward pass. Charbonnet recovers in the end zone, and here we are at 30, and the missed field goal on top of that. What's to come? Still 2 minutes to go.
Well, they need to get to about the 43-yard line to give Myers, who has a career long of 61. Season long is 57.
J.C. Penney postgame show will be coming up. You think the guys and the gals have anything to talk about?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit. Maybe a 4-hour postgame show. So here comes Darnold. It's 2nd down and 8. There's Myers. Does it come down to his foot again this week? Last week, of course, 6 field goals, no touchdowns to beat the Colts 18-16. Smith-Njigba sets up now on the left side out of the slot. Walker going back and forth. Darnold in the pocket. Darnold under pressure. Darnold's going to get sacked back at the 29-yard line. Verse and Turner are both there. Big sack, 1:54 to go. Now the Rams.
Boy. Yeah, Rams going to use the timeout. Watch Turner on the inside and what he's able to do, just getting the leverage. He has had his way with the rookie left guard, Gray Zabel. Able to work the edge there. He has such strong hands, and once he gets to the side, he's able to work by it. Verse does a good job of winning from the edge. Just nothing Darnold could do. You'd love to see him be able to get that ball out and just throw it away, but they both collapsed on him. And you go from being in a really good spot on 2nd down to now the sack, and you're way back to 3rd and 17. And McVay obviously does the right thing with 2 timeouts, using one of them.
17 yards to get the first. They have to get to the 48-yard line. Tough on the left side. Smith-Njigba out of the slot. Darnold throws, and that's going to be knocked down. So it's incomplete, stops the clock. 4th and 17.
And look who does it. You talk about having a night. Kobe Turner, we showed him earlier playing the piano. He's been attacking this offensive line. It's beautiful because you don't have to blitz anybody. Look at Verse with that bull rush right into the face, and then Turner gets his hand up to just bat the ball away. But that sack just got him way off schedule.
And not only that, the Seahawks had to use those 2 timeouts. Low snap here. The kick has gotten away. It's a good kick. Deep, fair catch call for back at the 11-yard line. 142, and that's where the Rams will start to try to work their way into at least field goal position. Well, 57-yard boot. I tell you, that's a clutch kick by Dixon, one of the best in the league. 50 game-winning drives, fourth quarter or overtime. Nobody among active players has more. Can he do it again? He leads one here. He cements the MVP. Probably,
I was going to say, how fitting for him to have the ball in his hands in a tie game with so much at stake.
He surveys. Drive starting at the 12-yard line. Stafford under pressure, gets it away, but pressure was put on. The pass is incomplete, intended for Williams. Pocket collapsing on him that time.
This is one of those cases where people will go up to Mike McDonald after the game. But what was the difference in what you guys did those last 4 or 5 series? It's just, it's like a fuse has been lit up front with Leonard Williams and DeMarcus Lawrence and company. They're just winning the one-on-one battles.
Second down, 10. Stafford, deep, reaching up. Nakua holds it in. Who else? They're going to mark it now at the 41-yard line. Quickly coming up to the line of scrimmage, 122, ticking down.
And that's good against good. Nakua against Witherspoon. Who's going to win that matchup? Just enough separation. And how about the ball and the location there by Matthew Stafford?
9 catches, 168 yards for Puka. That pass is incomplete. Pressure put on, had to get rid of it quickly. Intended for Parkinson.
Yeah, that time they did throw in a little blitz. They've been relying on that front to be able to get home. That time they brought a safety. Stafford felt that, had to get the ball out of his hands before he really wanted to.
3 straight games, 150 or more. He needs a breather.
Need about 25 more yards to give yourself a chance with Long.
Second and 10. 66 seconds in regulation. 4-man rush again. Throws, and that's contested. Is it caught at the 49-yard line? The officials come in. It is a catch. That much shy of the first down, third down. That's Mumfield making that grab.
Stafford couldn't even really follow through on that throw because of the pressure that he felt up front. Jaron Reed affected his follow through, and we got a guy down.
Their third and final.
And that cost them a timeout, an injury in the last 2 minutes in this situation. As Nevis walks the sideline, looking for that opportunity. Here it is again.
And look at that. He couldn't even get anything. The fact he somehow got that ball thrown that far and that accurately, when he got hit as he was throwing it. Not able to follow through at all.
They expedited it's a first down. It's not going to be 3rd and inches. Even Worry was there. Good coverage on the play, but a great catch by the 7th round rookie out of Pitt.
And again, without Devontae Adams, it's been different guys that have had to step up. Mumfield is 3 catches on the night. Smith has a couple catches. Ferguson with 3 catches.
8 total receivers, but Nakua has been the guy. 12 targets, 9 catches, 168. Now McVay wants Stafford to come over.
Going to hold on to that timeout. Remember, all they need is about 16 yards, and you got a shot at a game winner.
It's first down Los Angeles at the 49-yard line.
Even Warriors out. They lost Kobe Bryant earlier. You're minus 2 starters. 62 seconds. Stafford, he's wondering where the play clock is. Well, it shows 25, which is what it should show. Maybe looking over to get the call.
Look at those eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, he is locked
Totally.
and ready. Just waiting for the green light. Here it comes.
They'll wind the clock. They'll wind the play clock. And here we go. Nakula back in. Nakula wide to the right. Nakula comes out of the slot. Stafford throws incomplete. Intended from upfield. Rookie's seeing a lot of action tonight with the spoon coverage, 2nd down 10.
Yeah, sitting back again in zone, trying to trust that front four to be able to get home. That time the offensive line, much better job of protecting Matthew Stafford. Remember, 16 yards is all they need.
Second and 10 to the outside goes the pass. Drop. Incomplete. Parkinson would have picked up about 5. 3rd and 10.
Second time we've seen Parkinson, who's really come on of late, unable to finish just off the fingertips. And you wonder where, even when we saw it last week against Detroit, even when you know they're going to go to Puka Nacua, they go to him and he delivers. You got to think 3rd and 10. The whole stadium, the whole country watching. How is 12 going to make a play here on 3rd and 10?
Go empty here. Stafford fires and nobody's home there. Looking for Nakua, well overthrown. 4th and 10.
Yeah, they had him bracketed from the inside out. They're going to actually bring the punter out and punt this football because of the field position. I mean, he's an aggressive head coach. You just have to. You can't take that chance. Give Drake Thomas a lot of credit. We knew Puka was going to get the ball. He took it away from the inside, forced that ball to go high.
So Shaheed is back. Ethan Evans to put it in the air. He had a silent first half. Now 4 punts here in the second half. High floater, fair catch called for. Shaheed makes it at the 15-yard line. 42 seconds and no timeouts.
Well, you keep waiting for, is this the drive? Is this going to be the drive? Is this the drive?
Yep.
Darnold gets another opportunity out of timeouts. Got to get that first completion and get some urgency to be able to get a little tempo and get into attack mode. At the same time, a guy that's thrown 6 interceptions against his defense wants to be aggressive but wants to be smart.
Yep.
6 interceptions going back to the last game and tonight. 2 tonight and 4 in the previous game in Week 11.
Cooper Kupp sets up on the right side. Darnold throws over the middle, wide open. It's a nice game to the 28-yard line. Charbonnet makes the catch. They'll quickly run to the line of scrimmage. Clock ticking down.
Gonna clock it here.
Yep, they do. 29 seconds. Ball will be at the 28-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Oh, and there goes even Worry back to the locker room. Rookie having a great season, number 2 pick. Kind of a joker, kind of a Derwin James kind of guy. Can play all over the place. 2nd down 10 from the 28. Extra pressure. Look out. Darnold got him by the ankle. Puna Ford knocks him down there. Rams have a timeout. Well, they're just going to let it tick down, and I think both teams are looking for a 5th period.
How about that defensive line? The last 2 times he had the ball, we saw Kobe Turner come up with a sack, and this time Puna Ford comes up with a sack.
4 sacks tonight, and we go to overtime.
The end of the 4th quarter.
Why not? A highly anticipated game. Wasn't living really up to expectations when it was 30 to 16 to 14 to 14.
Well, after that pick by Turner, who dropped in coverage down by the goal line, I think I think most people thought that was a wrap.
Another interesting thing: 3 turnovers to Seattle, none for the Rams. This year, Seattle is -2 in points, despite an 11-3 record. A lot of it has to do with that. Brad Allen for the coin toss. Here comes Stafford. Here comes JSN.
All right, gentlemen. We will now play one overtime period of up to 10 minutes in which each team will have the opportunity to possess the ball unless on the first drive there's a defensive score or that team maintains possession of the ball for the entire 10 minutes. Fourth quarter timing rules will be in effect. Each team will be given 2 timeouts and all replay reviews will be initiated by the replay official. We all on the same page? All right, this is the same coin as before. This is heads and this is tails. I need your option. Call his heads. And it is tails. Okay. I got you. I'm going up. All right.
Well, Brad Allen saved me from having to give you what you just saw on the screen.
Very thorough.
Very.
Seattle wins the toss and defers, essentially. They're going to take the ball second.
And we will be back with the 5th quarter right after this. Boy, the Rams have done 0 in the last, 20 minutes? Who's back? Yeah. Here we go. Overtime kick. Nice look at this run back out past the 40 to the 50, but a flag is down. That's Ronnie Rivers, who gets all the way out to the 50, but the flag is all the way back at the 28-yard line. That would have been a 42-yard return, but it's coming back.
Holding. Receiving team number 56. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Los Angeles.
Sean Dolak. This is the 13th overtime game this season. 9 of the teams have chosen what the Seahawks have done to be the team to kick off. Terry, what'd you see on that?
So on the coin toss, Al, you heard Seattle say defer. You can't defer. They can either kick or receive or choose which goal to defend. They clearly wanted to kick and get the ball second.
Right. In other words, defer means kick these days.
Yeah.
So here we go. 8 seconds into the extra period. Nakua on the right side. Pass goes out to him, and he fights his way close to a first. Stopped a yard shy, 2nd and 1.
Just so physical after the catch. 6'2". A lot of people don't realize 6'2", 216 pounds. And he's got the speed to be able to pull away, but that time use his physicality. There's the last 5 possessions. Those 3 straight 3-and-outs is what opened the door for Seattle to get back into this game.
Nakua is now caught 10 for 177 and a touchdown. 2nd and 1. Stafford comes back the other way, finds the open man there. That's a first down. Caught by Blake Corum out of the backfield.
Long, slow, developing play. Usually that's a levels concept where he's going to throw to his left. Instead, a great call here by Sean McVay, throwing all the way back with that arm strength of Matthew Stafford to get it to Blake Corum. Everybody's sinking back into coverage deep, especially towards number 12 there.
8-13. Guy who hasn't seen any action tonight is Tutu Atwell. He's wide left. Stafford under pressure, avoids the sack, fires downfield, and that's incomplete. That pass intended there for Ferguson. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he broke free and just a bust in the coverage because the play took so long, and he was able to shake away from Leonard Williams. Watch 18. There's nobody at that second level of that defense. A linebacker didn't sink. Safety's not there. Once Stafford got away from Williams, he tried to get his feet set to make an accurate throw, but the ball just got away from him a bit.
Stafford on a 2nd and 10. Protection's good. Deep pass, flag is thrown. For the moment, nearly picked off but incomplete. But who is the penalty on? Julian Love with the coverage.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 13. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
It's a whole lot better than pass interference. It's on Ernest Jones. So 5-yard penalty.
Terry, watch this. Just a little touch right there. That's the push. Terry says, yep, good call.
Just enough.
Just enough.
To the 47. First and 10. On the ground. Gain of maybe 4 to the 49 of Seattle. That's Corum carrying. Kaylee.
Guys, the Seattle secondary is more and more shorthanded. Nick Emanwari, the jack of all trades for that defense, he's being evaluated for a concussion right now. Reek Woolen, the rotational corner, he's questionable to return with a knee injury. And then, of course, you lost Kobe Bryant, the safety, earlier this game.
Yeah, you got Okada in there, and you got Nehemiah Pritchard, who's barely played tonight, who is in there. 2nd and 6. Stafford under pressure again. It is incomplete and almost, did he pick it off? Did he pick it off is the question. That's Ernest Jones, and they say it is an interception off the deflected pass. He got it. We'll look again. It's off Blake Corum's hands, and for the moment they can celebrate.
Again, this ball is thrown just a little bit high. Corum is not the biggest target at 5'8". Ball goes off of his hands, and the former Ram, Ernest Jones, who you know how fired up he is for this game, does he get his hands underneath and secure this ball?
Of an interception is under further review.
All right, the ball touches the ground. Does he have control of it? Terry says no.
Here's a great look for you, Terry, here. The point of that ball, let's see, does he protect it? Incomplete.
That's incomplete, guys.
That'll change. So the premature celebration as they ran down to the cameras in the corner in the end zone. They'll come back. That was a 2nd and 6, which would make it a 3rd and 6.
Just
then they turn this back over.
Not enough time to get those forearms and elbows together to protect the football from hitting the surface.
Officially incomplete is the call we are hearing. Brad Allen to make that official right now.
After reviewing the play, it is an incomplete pass.
So now you're back to a 3rd and 6.
Boy, let's not forget this play. If they end up converting and going down and scoring. I mean, what a quick reaction by Jones. Like I said, the former Ram, he would have loved nothing better to be able to make that play, but they give Stafford and his offense another shot here at 3rd and 6. And again, you look for 12. Do you use him as a decoy to open up someone else, or do you still just say, hey, we're going to go to him regardless? He's off to the left.
The back is Williams. You saw Nakua circled. Stafford looking that way, throwing, and it is caught. Flag is thrown, though. Another flag on the other side of the field.
Offside. Defense number 53 lined up in the neutral zone. The penalty is declined as the result of the play is first down Los Angeles.
It's Boye Mafe lined up offside.
And they threw it to him regardless. We said, you know, are they going to go to him or use him as a decoy? They said, hey, we know you're going to try to stop it. In fact, they used Leonard Williams to drop to try to get into that throwing lane. You see him there. And you see Sean McVay running down. He does that quite a bit. Sometimes he doesn't. He goes right by him.
Yep. He's in great shape. Meanwhile, Nakua now on the sideline. When Nakua's on the sideline, that's a great sight for the defense, isn't it?
And
here he comes.
And a great tale that they're going to run the football when he's on the sideline.
Got one. Williams carrying for one. Rams tonight have run for 124 yards. Seahawks have run for 160. 2nd and 9.
How about the last 3 games for Puka Nacua? 7 for 167 and 2 against Arizona, 9 for 181 against Detroit, and now tonight 11 and 184 and 1 against this Seahawks defense so far.
Phenomenal, doing it all year long. Play fake. Stafford fires. Nacua again. Nacua will take it to the end zone. Puka Nacua, 41 yards. What a night. Stafford 457. Nacua is now 225 receiving yards.
And what a job by Matthew Stafford of waiting for the second window to be able to make this throw. Ernest Jones, who just came up with the interception, watch him drop into this lane on this crosser. He's got to wait for him to clear. Not now, but right there. Nobody throws that ball better than Matthew Stafford. That in-breaking dig route at about 18 yards. Waited till he cleared Jones and made it great throw out in front of him for that touchdown.
Mevis' extra point is good, which means the Seahawks get the ball. They need a touchdown, and then they can figure out whether they want to kick the extra point and extend the game or go for 2. Once again, 225. He's caught passes tonight, 54, 58, and this one 41.
Unbelievable job. You just knew it's a matter of time till he had a chance to make a difference. He's been doing it all along. Matthew Stafford, I showed you where 13 was. He was sitting in that spot because Stafford once again used his eyes to move Ernest Jones where he wanted him and then threw the ball away from him right to where it'd be in front of Nacua to be able to score that play. 133 yards after the catch tonight alone for Puka Nacua.
He came in second to Jackson Smith and Jigba in receiving yards. He's closed that gap. Smith and Jigba with 75 receiving yards tonight. Meanwhile, how about the offensive line? I mean, Stafford's had a lot of time to throw.
Yep.
On that series in particular.
You know the saying, big-time players make big plays in big games. We've seen that tonight with 12.
Looking for his 51st comeback of this sort. So the Seahawks will now have to go 65 yards to have a chance to tie the game or win the game. Darnold now 17 to 28. 2 picks, 1 touchdown. 221 yards. A tie would help the Rams more than the Seahawks, because they have already won the first game, so you'd be 1-0-1. First things first. Walker. Can he get around the corner? Yeah, but only for 3 yards. Forbes makes the tackle there.
And this decent defense sensing an opportunity, obviously, here. Seattle going with their big unit. We haven't seen a lot of 13 from them, but 1 back, 3 tight ends. Tried to go heavy that time with Kenneth Walker. He actually bounced the other way, away from the tight ends to get some positive yards.
One of the advantages that going second, obviously, is everything is 4-down territory now. From the 39-yard line. Play action. Scramble. Throwing along the sideline. Smith and Jigba, did he make it inbounds? The officials look at each other, and he does. First down, 44-yard line.
Yeah, 2 things there. Great job. There was pressure again from Kobe Turner. Darnold gets away from it, and this is Jackson Smith and Jigba. Great footwork, great awareness, kind of slowed down, throttled down before he got close to the sideline and gave his quarterback a great target to be able to make that throw, so he didn't have to worry about his feet because he had already throttled down.
He now has 92 receiving yards from the 44-yard line. Darnold has to fling that one away. Avoiding the sack, chased by Poona Ford, 2nd and 10.
This defensive line really just having their way. Kobe Turner, Poona Ford. We've seen Jared Verse getting in there, Byron Young.
Well, one reason, of course, is that the number 1 left tackle, Charles Cross, has been out.
Yep. not able to play tonight. Josh Jones, who hadn't played a ton of football this year, has had to step in. They've been using a tight end a lot to chip on that side.
With the jigger coming this way. Cup in the slot the other way. The play clock is at 1. Darnold fires, and that's incomplete. Crowd wants a flag, and there is a flag that comes in late. Emmanuel Forbes with the coverage on the play, and they got him.
Pass interference. Defense number 1. By rule, the ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
And it looked like he grabbed the arm there. Let's take a look at Forbes, who has that length. A lot of times he's able to work around the body and use those long arms, but here he hooks that right arm right there and turns him away from the ball. So good call by the official right on top of it.
So Seahawks now 39-yard line. Out of a tight formation on the ground. Walker gets spilled. 2-3-yard pickup. Kobe Durant with that tackle. Second down 8.
Better be very careful. You know, I know they're running the ball, and you're just used to everybody, these quarterbacks throwing it and making plays. These great receivers, but we saw Kenneth Walker hit a crease and in a blink of an eye go about 40 yards for a touchdown earlier. So this Rams defensive line's got to be very careful with the linebackers being gap sound when they hand that ball to 9. It's not just about rushing the quarterback, Sam Darnold.
Walker with 100 rushing yards tonight and 64 receiving. Low snap. Darnold hangs in. Darnold under pressure. Throws along the sideline. No. Yes. It's called a catch. Cooper Kupp making the grab.
Wow.
Fabulous.
Great throw. Watch the right foot just toe tap. Gets the left one down. The right toe tap right there. And who better than Cooper Kupp to be able to make that throw, but Sam Darnold with an excellent throw.
To the 16, gain of 21. Darnold over the middle, settles for the underneath route by Charbonnet. Second down, short gain, space makes the tackle, 2nd and 8. So Cooper Kupp with that fumble at the end of the first half. Comes back, makes a great play, sets him up with 4 minutes left in the overtime. Again, if they tie the game, the Rams get the ball back. The game keeps going to the 10-minute mark. 2nd down and 8. Play fake, rolls, looks, throws, caught inside the 10-yard line to Barner, the tight end.
Now, I really think Seattle, because of the loss in Week 11, and looking at the time, it would make a lot of sense to me. Instead of tying, first they got to score a touchdown, but it would not shock me at all if McDonald would decide to go for 2.
Yeah, he knows right now, if the game winds up in a tie, the Rams still would have the advantage.
Yep.
Because they had won the game, they had a win and a tie versus a loss and a tie for the Seahawks.
So he's telling Clint Kubiak, get that 2-point play ready would be my guess.
The best you ever called. 3rd down and 3. Inside the 5 goes Charbonnet for a 1st and goal. And that seems to be where we're headed right now. 1st and goal. Put it at the 4-yard line.
Great job there on 3rd and 3. The interior getting a good push. And how about the vision that time by Charbonnet? It's like the Rams are going to call a timeout.
Charge timeout. Los Angeles, their first. It will be 30 seconds.
And each team has 2. So you got a timeout with 3:17 left in the 5th quarter. And Rams Seahawks winner controls their path to the NFC number 1 seed. Seahawks still haven't clinched a playoff berth. 2 more games to go for them after tonight at Carolina and then at San Francisco. So this could be the last time this crowd sees this team at home.
I mean, we're at week 16. They're on a short week. They're playing to get to the top of the NFC West, maybe a number 1 seed. And how fitting. We're in overtime, and it's coming down to this.
All you could ask for.
Yeah, these guys are leaving it out there.
1st and goal. Darnold, play fake, looks, throws, caught! Smith-Njigba. Now comes the drama.
What a drive by Sam Darnold. They're not hesitating. There's Clint Kubiak. Like we said, I guarantee you Mike McDonald said, hey, Clint, we get in here and score. Give us your best two-point play.
Well, they scored on the wackiest two-point conversion you'll ever see earlier. Where do they go here?
Well, the guy that just made that touchdown would be a great place to look. He's off to the right. They try to isolate him on his own. Rams going to call another timeout.
Yep, isolate him on Forbes. McVay wanted to see how they were going to line up. He did.
Here's the touchdown now. What a job by Darnold with a nice play fake and a good job of separating by JSN. No receptions in the first half. All 96 yards and a touchdown in the second half. But coming to defense a little bit at number 14. You know, this game was going sideways. The turnovers, he sure has responded here in this second half when he's had his chances.
Can he cap it off?
From a 3% chance to win.
Comes down to this. One play. One time. Again, you got Smith-Njigba, bottom of the screen there. Charbonnet is the back. Cut moving back and forth. And now you got a
Seattle timeout.
Yeah, timeout by Seattle, of course.
It will be 30 seconds.
Okay.
It's almost like in basketball. Let's see what they're in. Call
Right.
a timeout. Get a feel.
McVay saw it at first. Now McDonald sees what they line up as.
Now they've not moved the ball off that right hatch. The play they want, they're not going to change. Maybe a different formation, personnel grouping, but this is, I mean, think about what's at stake here. We've talked about it all night, the number one seed here. It comes down to, like you say, this one play.
This is it. This is it. Make no mistake. 2-point try. Here comes their best 2-point play. 3 receivers this time. They changed the formation. 3 to the right. Varner in motion. Darnold throws. Caught for the 2 points. Eric Saubert. They throw to a guy who hadn't made a catch or was targeted all night long. What a game. That's one for the ages right there.
Unbelievable. Just take it all in. What a scene. One of the best venues in the NFL. Comes down to a 2-point play, and when we show you how close this was to being tipped at the line of scrimmage, you're not going to believe it.
So the Seattle Seahawks have the number 1 seed in their hands. Win out, they're number 1.
Now let's look at how this play was developed. Remember, you talked about how the 3 receivers to the right, the tight end leaks. Look how close Kobe Turner came to knocking that ball down. But I'll tell you, Saubert deserves a lot of credit for being patient before he delays and comes out. Just wait. Got completely lost by coverage. Did a nice job of looking it off, looking towards that 3 receiver side. And almost like a check down. Came back to the backside, found the answer to hit that 2-point conversion, and good for him.
Calf injury on IR until last week. Signs a 1-year extension the other day. He's already paid the biggest dividend. Don't call his name all night long. There he is, 38-37. Can hoist up a lot of guys tonight.
And he knows how close he came to knocking that ball, getting his hand on it. Two of the best right there.
No question. Neither has his 40th birthday yet, so Sean McVay now goes to Atlanta, comes home against Arizona. Seattle, 2 on theirs, Cup and Stafford. Of course, the two of them made some magic 4 years ago. Sam Darnold wins a huge one. And off he goes to our post-game show, I'm sure, because don't go anywhere at the JCPenney post-game show after these messages.